To another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. I am your host, Sarah, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Brian and Amanda. And today we also have Fred Schwartz on. He is the creator of Fisticuffs, and we're going to hear about it a bit. And we were just talking about how we should probably just say 9-ish for the start time. It is 9:06 now, and it's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine.
Spoiler, we're always late.
Yeah. Oh, it's only a spoiler if you've never watched it, right? Just like the show that we're going to talk about, which is Clerks tonight.
We should have started at 9:37.
Oh yeah.
And like theme with the movie.
Yeah. What time does Dante actually open the doors to? Because he doesn't open it up on time either.
No.
It's like 6:15 in the morning or something. He's supposed to open at 6. Yeah, we don't need to get that into the weeds with the details. Anyway,
it's roughly 6 on our time zone. So yay, we're
there you
early.
Go. Nice. All right. Well, so Fred, let's hear about your current stuff going on.
Sure. So earlier this year, we released Fisticuffs books 1 and 2. And in October, we're going to be coming out with book 3 to Kickstarter. Fisticuffs is about a functional drunk whose comfortable life derails when a one-night stand has deadly consequences. It's very, it has a very Clerks sensibilities and Clerks sense of humors, but it's a bit more with the action and the violence and the sex, more in line with things like Preacher and The Boys, and like kind of the works of Frank Miller it's been compared to. So, it's written by me, drawn by the amazing Stan Yak, colors by Robert Nugent, who's fantastic and out of this world, and Dave Sharp, who's killer as well. Like, I'm just totally blessed to work with the best team, and it's been really amazing.
Awesome. So, fucking cat. We need a link. I need to put a link in the comments here for everybody to find your stuff. So. For real? He's like, I'm trying to pull him away, and he's like gripping, like it's a red shirt, so it won't show the blood when I start to bleed, but there's going to be blood. I can tell.
You're also black and white, so how would we?
Yeah, I'm Clerks 1. You guys are Clerks 2 and 3. I didn't know that Clerks 3 was a thing until last night when I Googled some stuff.
I learned last night too.
Yeah, so like, I'm disappointed. But like, Clerks 2, we're not talking about Clerks 2 or 3 today. We're only talking about Clerks 1. You'll have to wait for a different show. You'll have to wait for the cartoon show. Oh, I have stuff to say. So, I have things to say about the animated version in general, specifically about that lost scene. But okay. You guys talk. I'm going to type because I will screw up if I don't focus on this.
Sure. Ryan, you want to take it? You want to start?
Yeah, so I watched it when it came out because everyone watched it when it came out, and I have changed since this movie came out. I hope for the better. So yeah, some of the things that were in this movie that kind of flew over my head or just seemed like, yeah, that's how people talk, now are problematic and need to be called out for how problematic they are and where that is. But for a slice of life, low budget film, I mean, they inspired a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like watching we watched it again last night, and I thought that some of this stuff did not age well at all.
No.
But you cannot deny the cultural impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna, because so many. Like Kevin Smith has come up with so many gems. Like you gotta none of those awesome movies would exist. Like, problematic in their own rights, I know, but none of them would exist without Clerks. So
what do we think his most problematic movie is now? Like in hindsight, is it Chasing Amy?
Yeah. I mean, there's just an element of sexism in all of his stuff that I don't care for. I need to watch Clerks 3 now because that one's a fairly recent one, and maybe it's not as bad. But yeah, Chasing Amy is not great. Have you guys seen that one?
Not in such a long time that I'd have to rewatch it to remember. I remember not liking it, but I don't know the specifics. I couldn't point to the what bits.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting because I saw a little bit about what Chasing Amy last night when I was looking at other things around the movies, and he was disappointed that people thought that it was supposed to be like bi erasure or lesbian erasure, and so he was trying to convey like being sexuality on a spectrum, and that different times and different places you have different results.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's on him for not having more bisexual people helping him write the movie. If he didn't want to erase, he shouldn't have been a straight white guy writing it. So, all alone, I should say. Like, he just needed more input from people.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I think very few movies are ever like resolved by like proposing a threesome. But I mean, Jaws maybe, but that would have been a fun take. But I remember, like, I mean,
that might have made that movie better,
right? Like, if the shark was like at the center of it. But anyway,
Kyron,
Clerks.
I'm Clerks, and everybody else is Clerks 2 and 3. That's what we decided.
We just couldn't afford color for Sarah.
Yeah, sorry, only could afford color for 3.
So as a Clerks fanatic, yeah, I absolutely recognize. I mean, even going back now and watch it, like there's not just like the humor and the content and stuff. Which, by the way, like I don't fault him for like trying. Like I don't ever fault an artist for trying to take on material. It would have been nice, like you said, maybe if he did, maybe a few more polishes, like with Chasing Amy on, before people that might have had like some actual firsthand knowledge and stuff. But I remember like he kind of always, I think he actually said the reason why that he wrote that movie and tried to was because he thought he was like putting like gay forward content out there. He was trying to like represent his brother and stuff. He just kind of missed the mark. I think I haven't seen it yet, but I believe there's an entire documentary about that, about like the cultural impact of like Chasing Amy. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah.
But as for Clerks, right? Why I loved Clerks so much was when I first saw it was like it blew my mind about like the DIY nature of filmmaking. I had no I mean, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at like 16 and stuff. I think I was still telling people I wanted to be a lawyer, like a politician or something, because
Sure.
I liked the performative aspect of all that, kind of thing. But, I didn't realize it would have all required so much reading and studying. But
Yeah.
Clerks, I remember there was like this one magical weekend where like I saw Dogma and I actually fell asleep halfway through the first time I watched it. But then when I woke up and rewatched it, I really got into it really hard. And then I kind of discovered Clerks and Mallrats. And I woke up with this idea of like, well, that's what I want to do, is kind of like tell stories, about like me and my friends and do kind of that, like I said, the DIY backyard filmmaking thing. And, there are some things like that, you go back and watch now and they don't age, fantastically as, content or as like filmmaking. Like even some of his jokes, like that I used to laugh at when I was younger are like super telegraphed. Like, the it's important to have a job what means something, and then her punchline to it. I mean, it's like it's you see it coming from a mile away. But that was Sandy. Like, there's a lot of great like slice of life content in there that he does put in there. I love the the cancer bit in the beginning with the cigarette salesman and all that, or the gum salesman.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's like a lot of great like stuff that he was able to do, and it like we said, it kind of like opened people's minds to what you can do, on your own.
And yeah, we actually touched on this when we watched Jaws. We talked about it a bit, about how you can't appreciate, you can't truly 110% appreciate the impact of the movie unless you were there when it came out and you were a part of that. So I think some of that, because like that movie is so 90s. Oh my gosh, it is so 90s.
The era of Blair Witch and Jackass.
It's just, and like the plugging of the gum, Chuli's gum, like that was so, like the product placement in movies was, and that was one of the, they made fun of it with I'm assuming it's a fictional brand. Some of that stuff wasn't fictional, like that Quick Stop still exists today. It's a real place. I'm sure the video store isn't there anymore, but it was a real place too. That's crazy. I'm sure it's not a video store anymore.
I don't remember if it was. I was there like 10 years ago, and it's crazy when you walk in there because that store is tiny. Quick Stop, like it is the smallest convenience store I think I've ever been in, and I just can't believe that they were able to they talk about in documentaries how when they would close the shop, they would like take everything out, film all night, and like put the whole shop back together. But I don't even know how you fit like a 90s camera in that store. It's tiny.
Like we don't appreciate that we can film a whole movie on our iPhones now if we want to, but like they didn't have iPhones in the 90s. And this was 1993 was when they filmed it. It was released in 94, but you see 93 splashed all over, specifically April of 93 because it's on the newspapers. So yeah, that's really cool. And that's why it was shot in black and white too, is because they just didn't have any damn money, so they were shooting it off hours at the grocery store there, and that's why the shades were drawn. That's why the shutters were stuck, because it was actually nighttime. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, like for all its problematic parts, it's mostly a fascinating story, and it's a solid movie. It's not like I said, the sexism really got me a lot in this one, and I was like, wow, did I not notice the sexism the first time I watched it? And the answer is probably no, I didn't. I probably did. I mean, it's because it was easier to miss. It was easier to miss in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I was way into these. So I used to listen to a lot of the commentaries where it was like Kevin and Jason Lee and like Ben Affleck, and they're amazing. Like Affleck loves tearing up Kevin and like making they make fun of each other quite a bit and stuff. But they do point out like in particular, like I was watching last night, and it's like such a weird scene where he's yelling at her about like how many dicks, like it's like hyper aggressive, and like I can't imagine that like really playing out like that in real life. Like I don't think I mean, I don't know, at least
I don't know. It sounded very incelly, and that is actually how people do talk these days. So
I mean, there's a specific subset of the online culture that absolutely identifies with Dante in that scene, and just like Dante needs a little Ted Lasso in his life, I guess, because
Dante needs therapy, a lot of therapy.
I mean, they all do real well. You know what? For all that Jay and Silent Bob don't really have their shit together, they don't seem like they seem happy. They're and like Silent Bob is probably the most well-adjusted of all four of them.
1,000%, yeah. If it's funny because you said not to talk about it, but I really do not like Clerks 3 because of how the story for these characters ends. Like,
we can talk about it. It's but like that's not the focus. Yeah, but we could totally bring it in there.
Has anybody seen it here? I don't want to be like super.
No. I was actually curious to rewatch 2 and then see 3 and see how they tried to bring it home and make them less horrible characters.
Yeah, by the end of it, I just can't stand Randall. Like, and it's like somebody that, I mean, again, maybe I shouldn't have been able to stand him.
I can't stand Randall anyway.
I was going to say, but
fine. He's kind of an asshole. So,
when I was young, adolescent, like late out, like, I mean, that was like, like rock and roll.
We wanted to be Randall then.
Like show up late for work and do whatever. Yeah, totally. But, no, by the end of the third one, like their relationship kind of becomes like so toxic that you're like, oh, like if he just like got away from him, like
in the second one doesn't, correct me if I'm wrong here because it's been a while, but like doesn't he like sabotage Dante's entire relationship with albeit she's kind of an overbearing.
Yeah.
But she wants to marry him. She wants to marry Dante, and it would have solved a lot of problems for Dante, including what he really needed, which was some space from Randall. And like Randall admitted at the end of the movie that he sabotaged that entire like relationship. He tried to sabotage it because he didn't want to lose their friendship. Didn't he like admit that or something?
No, you're right. And actually, I just connected that in real time, and it's like, shit, if he got away there, like 3 wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, 3 would have been. I can't believe I didn't know about 3. It's still, it's a little hilarious to me.
I didn't care for it. I found it really like emotionally manipulative. Like I remember like being very like against it. I've since warmed up to it. Like it's I like it a little bit better than I initially did, but I had a bad like reaction to it at first. That's fair. I did not like them bringing back those characters for that ending.
I am very much looking forward to what Amanda has to say in that case, because Amanda's the best at finding. I think of the 3 of us, Amanda's the best at finding the weak spots in the movie, and I'm all for that because like we can figure out how it could have been a slightly better movie if we can identify the weakest points. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Amanda has to say about Clerks 3 now.
Both
based 100% on what you just said. So I thought of the black and white thing was purely a budget thing, but I thought it added to the charm of the movie. Like it's better for it. And we had said like Randall's kind of an asshole, and there was a lot of sexism in this movie, a lot of hypocrisy on Dante's part as well. But like, so what do we think is good about this movie? Like, because I'm finding it difficult because there wasn't really this movie does not follow your standard, hero's journey or 3-act arc or anything like that. It's just a series of 7 different chapters of the movie. And it kind of nothing in particular happens, and yet everything happens. Mm-hmm. And some weird shit that would never, okay, you know what? I'm not going to say never happened in real life because, look around you. It could absolutely happen in real life. But unlikely?
God, I hope not.
Some of that stuff. So, what do we think was good about this movie? What, specific points do we like about this movie?
It was a time capsule of the era.
Oh, very much so.
You saw some of the old brands. You saw the way that some of the interactions were. It really, by filming, real people, so to speak, we were getting a little bit of a sense of culture in the time. And it definitely was one of the... slacker movies of the era, and it helped kind of, you can triangulate the era using this movie.
Mm-hmm. People who'd never seen the movie knew who Jay and Silent Bob were, and they were kind of stoner icons. Mm-hmm. I do like the time capsule thing, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's really important with art. I think sometimes we tend to judge things today, from the past, through today's lens and stuff, and that kind of misses the point. I always think of Gone with the Wind, right? Now they put a disclaimer on that, and Gone with the Wind is not only a time capsule of that period in history, but it's also a time capsule of 1939 that so much of that was still accepted and kind of normalized, I guess is the word. So I always find when you go back and you try to I don't label something as problematic or whatever, misses the point, because a lot of these movies are about, and that's actually what I really do like the most about Clerks, right? Is that it and what inspired me the most about it is that it is Kevin Smith at age 24 on a plate, right? He just kind of put himself out there and shot his shot, and nobody's perfect at 24, but he kind of I've always admired that, right? And part of the thing today was to talk about how this ties back to Fisticuffs in my comic, right? And that's that I really This is a very personal story to me, especially as like it continues to evolve. I'm not going to get too spoilery into it, right? But I was inspired. This was one of the first stories that I began to tackle at around the time I discovered Clerks, because I kind of knew like certain, issues and things that, I was going to, was already struggling with and wound up struggling with for years. So I began kind of putting that, down on paper, because like, I kind of felt like, there's like a tradition of that, right? Like, that kind of like tell your story, put it out there and see what happens. Like whether it was Kevin Smith and Clerks, Robert Rodriguez and El Mariachi, Martin Scorsese and Mean Streets and stuff. So that's kind of like how I approached it. So like, kind of like, even though like, we can pick apart like the things that don't work, like I appreciate the audacity of it, and like just him, doing it and like kind of risking, total failure and embarrassment and, credit card debt for the rest of his young life.
Yeah, he could have knowing what we all know about the 90s and our lives now, like he could have ruined his entire life if Clerks hadn't done well.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, what he did was a huge risk, and at such a young age, that was such a stupid thing to do. Like I look back and I go, oh my God, he's so lucky that paid off, because this is such a stupid thing to do.
Dozens of people did not get that luck.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Plenty of just victims of Hollywood. And
Well, I mean, look at how many of us are just trying to pay off our damn college debt. Shit. I mean, like not all of us are that lucky to have been able to do that yet.
I love the story he tells where he says when he first was done with the movie and he screened it for his mom, when the credits rolled, the first thing she said was, she looked at him and goes, "You spent $24,000 on that piece of shit?"
I didn't know his mom said that. Nice.
old.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet she had to eat a little
Accurate.
crow later. Oh wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, did you watch any of the? Because we got the anniversary edition.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch all the extra junk? We watched the Lost scene, and we watched the flying cars short, and just absolutely cemented what an asshole Randall is. Like, they call that scene the Lost scene because it was too expensive to shoot, so they just left it out. And it's so, like, the movie's so much better. If that's what they wanted, because they animated it years later, and I think it's on YouTube. You could just look it up and watch it, and it's only a few minutes long. But if that's what they envisioned for that scene, and it takes place at the funeral parlor. So. Why is
Thank you,
Sarah black and white? Because we couldn't afford color.
Yeah, I don't remember like the preamble to that scene. I just remember how it ended and stuff. And there were a lot of things that they did or came close to doing that like would have completely changed the movie. Like there was originally an ending where somebody comes in and like shoots Dante and just like robs the register and runs out, because Kevin didn't his whole inspiration for Clerks was to do something like Do the Right Thing. So he wanted it to end in a tragedy, so. And then the studio was like, "That's the worst ending ever. Like you can't end that. You can't do it because you don't know how to write an ending. You can't leave that on there." So they changed it and became what it became.
I believe that's another one that you can get if you get the anniversary edition. Is like that you could get the original ending, which I did not watch because I didn't know it was there, because I wasn't like Kevin Smith talks a lot before he plays any of his Lost episode. Like he did the Lost scene, he talked so long, and then we did the short, the flying cars short, and then we watched the music video, and he just talked so much, and I was like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We gotta go to bed. Like I don't want to listen.
Somebody
to
shut
this
Silent
anymore.
Bob up.
Right? Yeah, like Silent Bob is like his doppelganger, right? Because Kevin Smith talks so much. And I think that people who have met him have said that too. And I think he's actually said that about himself. Is like, anybody who knows me will say I never shut the hell up. So I was like, okay, well, at least he knows. But yeah, I didn't watch everything because I was just like, this is, I don't want to watch it anymore. But yeah, if that animated scene was what they intended, if they would have gotten that movie would have suffered for it, because it's, again, extremely sexist and it doesn't make sense. I don't want to mess it up for you guys if you wanted to watch it, but like there's nonsensical things happen, and we know we know from what they talk about what happened in the car, so we know that he knocks over the casket and sends the corpse flying, which is horrifying enough. But you know what? That's happened before. Like, that's a realistic thing that you can imagine happening, except if anybody's ever lifted a coffin before, those bitches are heavy. So
Right.
Well, there's 6 pallbearers.
Yeah, it's. I am too cool for color. Yeah, and after I spent a couple minutes talking, when Fred was here, and I was like, my eyeshadow looks green, and then I don't want it to be green, and then I just took all the color out anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, Matt so he talks. Yeah, he likes to talk, and you know what? He's fairly interesting. At times, like, there's some of that stuff was like this. Sorry, Matt, but nobody cares about this stuff except you. But a lot of it was very interesting and like gave you insight on the movie itself, and like and all of his other projects too. He would talk about at length sometimes. So yeah, he talks, and it is very funny that his alter ego does not talk at all. He's lucky to have one line in the entire movie, right? And that's about
Right,
about
but he
how
always makes sure that it's a pivotal line.
a very good one, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the is it Mallrats or is it Chasing Amy, where he has like the whole monologue and it was like a whole bunch of talking about his Amy, which
Chasing
was the
Amy.
actual Amy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in this one he just says there's tons of hot girls in the world, but most of them won't bring you lasagna at work. And something about cheating. Most of them just cheat.
Yep.
Which is sexist. However, it's not untrue because a lot of women do cheat. A lot of men also
A lot of men
cheat.
cheat. Yeah.
Which is what
I
we
think saying a
experience.
lot is kind of an exaggeration there. And he
A
was
lot-
saying something, but this to a clerk who just suddenly decided that meant he actually did love the girlfriend that he was about to cheat on and
Yeah.
didn't actually like and love, and it didn't really track.
Yeah, it was like he thought so little of Veronica that he was talking to his ex-girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend who cheated on him a number of times. Like, Dante's an idiot. Like, he's just stupid. And he thinks with his dick. He does not think at all. He does not use his brain at all. Like, he's not, so, especially when it comes to his relationships, but he is clearly not using his brain with just suggesting that he can't do any better than this job that he already has. But he did explain that he did explain at the end there when they had their wrestling match in the shop there. He did explain that he is like the antithesis of a problem solver. So like he doesn't figure things out. He just deals with it.
Well, that's
So-
kind of the point of the character is that
Yeah.
he's like, he just kind of stays where he's comfortable, and I guess maybe he thought Caitlin was most comfortable. Like, I don't know.
He was obsessed with Caitlyn, and then what? Like, do you think that everything that happened
stalker.
in there that he's not going to still be obsessed with Caitlyn for a while? Like the second movie came out like 10 years after the first, so
Yeah, I don't think they ever resolved what happened
no.
to Caitlin, but
Caitlyn's probably in a hospital somewhere because that's not something you get over. You haven't seen this. If y'all are watching and you haven't seen Clerks, we don't need to go into detail, but you do need to watch it yourself because, ew.
is there there's a tactful way to say it, but let's
Yeah.
not.
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
Like
I don't know.
necromancy, I guess,
Is-
would be the tactful way of.
Accidental necrophilia.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the accidental. Like, sounds like a traffic violation. Like,
Yeah, but yeah, it's also like, how stupid is Caitlyn that she didn't figure that out?
pretty. Yeah.
I'm
But that's
sorry,
okay.
Caitlyn, but
Because the lights are out.
yeah. But he'd been there for a while. He had to be a little cooler than a standard alive body, right? Like, I just it's a whole thing, and so like that's another part of the sexism is like we're just supposed to like be like, oh yeah, that makes sense that Caitlyn was that stupid.
None of the female characters get very good treatment.
No. No. And you know what? With that lost scene, it tracks in there too. Like it follows the lost scene. They put the girl who dies, she's also very young. Like she's like 22-ish, their age, and they apparently put her in a tube top and mini skirt in the casket, and I'm like,
that's what I'm going to be buried in.
Yeah, I really need to rewatch this scene.
I mean,
don't
like
remember
Brian,
this
it makes
part.
sense, but yeah, like that's why and that was all it was like I mean, you know, it was very Bram Stokery, and they talking about how hot the dead body was. Like, why do so many 1800s novels talk about how super hot corpses are? Did you ever notice that? I noticed that. No. There's a couple of mummy books too. Like they unwrap this mummy queen, and like they're talking about how perfectly hot her dead body still is, and I'm like,
you're gonna have to run your books by me so I can approve them first, Sarah.
Yeah,
that might need to happen.
Wow, these are like
Did
Bram
Kevin Smith write
Stoker's.
these?
I hope not. But Bram Stoker's Dracula. They talk the boy squad there, the vampire hunting boy squad. They talk about how hot Lucy's dead body is, even though she's dead. And I'm like, that's weird, man. She's dead. Don't talk about how hot she is. That she's dead. And you know what? That hits a little close to home too, because you know what? I'll send you guys a link to a news article about something that happened not terribly far from where I live, or where I grew up, I should say, not where I live now. But if you Google Cassville, Wisconsin, and then grave robbing, it'll probably come up. So, and it's exactly what you think it is, based on the context of this conversation. It's exactly what you think it is.
Good night, folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I didn't think Clerks would bring us here.
yeah,
No. I mean, there was.
We're
the
only like
portal
one step
for it.
away.
It's that's where that's like, it's just all like I was thinking about that while I was rewatching it too, because the first time that I watched Clerks, this thing that happened had not happened yet near where I grew up.
I think it was inspired by Clerks.
It might have been. Ugh. But yeah, like Bram Stoker and you know, H.P. Lovecraft kind of does, but not really, because I feel like he was probably asexual, don't you think? Based on his just general hatred of women and everybody. I don't think that he was a guy. I don't think he was a very horny guy.
Yeah.
I think he kind of hated everyone, including himself.
Yeah, and he was, more than that, he was terrified of everybody.
Yeah.
Which explains why he hated everybody, and like his racism transcended even the racism of the time, which was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but like he was less so talking about the hotness of the dead bodies, but there were a few of them. The Sherlock Holmes guy, he talked about a hot dead body.
All right. Enough about the dead bodies. Let's circle back to Clerks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was like getting at there, was like, why do we have to always talk about how stupid the woman is, about like she's so stupid she'd do this, and the men are just like they get a pass for saying weird shit like that. It just bugs me. I'm not really sure what my point was either. I had one, and then it went away because I was trying to convince you guys this was real. So anyway, yeah, women could have been portrayed in a better light in this movie. And but like the women, the men their behavior was just, they were just varying shades. Like I said, Jay and Silent Bob were the least problematic characters, and that's not great.
Yeah. No, the rampant homophobia and transphobia and sexism and misogyny was not good. When the movie came out, I did not like it. And looking back 30 years, it's like, ooh, it got worse. You can see even more now, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't remember feeling strongly about this movie when I watched it, but I don't remember disliking it. And now I'm like looking at it going, yeah, it has problems. And it's interesting that you compared Fisticuffs to this, because I don't think that Fisticuffs suffers from a lot of these problems.
No, I don't either.
But there's a tone there that I can get behind, though.
Right. It again, in the sense of, you know, the
humor.
Well, the humor for sure, right? Like it's the difference is, I think, right? Like when I started writing like Fisticuffs, when I was like, in my early 20s, and I think like kind of like as I grew up, maybe like I had a different like I guess like maybe as I grew up, I had a different take on like the character and the situations. So, I don't know. I think as I matured, I made like a more mature version of like that kind of dark kind of humor, if that makes sense. So, and I'm also trying to like, I don't want to get too spoilery into like the overall like point of the piece altogether, but like I'm also trying to use that in a certain way to kind of, hopefully bring together, hopefully stick the landing on what I hope will be a pretty interesting story. But definitely the sense of humor and like the kind of like I mean, there's definitely like a narcissistic element in Fisticuffs, right? Like I mean, it's not as bad as and overt as some of these other characters and stuff, but like, everything is about. I mean, we spend a lot of time inside Nick's head. Everything's about like what he can perceive and what he can excuse. There's a key scene in book 2 where he's like kind of like dealing with the fallout of like this absurd situation, and he just doesn't get the gravity of it, and he actually defers like kind of like a life or death decision to somebody else, almost like in the way like an enabler would, or like you would. He just doesn't have his own moral compass yet, right? And I feel like that's kind of something that was very Clerks-like, right, at the time, right? There are like these kind of like again, if Kevin Smith kind of did like I did, like wrote Clerks, massaged it for like 20 years, maybe he would have like a more nuanced take on these characters and these situations and stuff. But because he was like 24 and shot his shot at 24, you do get a lot of like misogyny and a lot of homophobia and stuff, which again does it. I'm not trying to like excuse it, but it is very like 1993 pop culture, and like what a 24-year-old male from New Jersey would have thought was acceptable. So yeah, I guess I put it more in the sense of like the tone and the and like the kind of like mildly narcissistic, like unreliable protagonist would be like the comp that I would most make.
Yeah, I think that Kevin Smith said something about that he would never close the door on Clerks, and that's part of the reason why I'm curious to see Clerks 3, because I want to see if it's how much it's matured then, or if he's stuck the same kind of sense of humor and stuff. If he tried to keep that '90s feel, Well,
I don't want to insult Kevin Smith because I love. I love Kevin for like, all that he's, entertained and all he's, done over the years and stuff, for me and my life and for, just the geek community in general, I think. But like his, I mean, despite like his art, right? Like I think like he's, a pretty good ambassador for like, comics and, geek culture. But
yeah, definitely.
Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Oh no.
About whether or not it's in the same vein as the original, like the
right.
problematic
So
elements?
yeah, okay, yes. Now I do remember my point. Right. Okay. So I think sometimes, like with creators, especially when you're dealing in like the same world, and I think the well like kind of runs a bit dry, right? And I think maybe I actually like Clerks too. I think it, despite a lot of like the the shitty dysfunction in it, like it does ultimately end on like somewhat of a happy note, kind of a found family. Like I'm kind of okay with it. But 3, I just feel like he's besides the fact that I thought the story was kind of emotionally like manipulative. I think the humor, he's just kind of like he's like a pitcher kind of like trying to throw heat in the 9th inning. Like he just doesn't quite have the oomph anymore. The jokes aren't quite there. And actually, I think in some ways he kind of relies more on like, lowest common denominator jokes than like some of his, other works. So I don't think Clerks 3 is, at all like, represents like any kind of, growth. It's not like, I mean, if you're a fan of his work, I enjoy it. I really do. It's like a, guilty-ish pleasure and stuff, but I think Clerks has more of like a patina of whether it was intended or not, like a patina of art on it that like this other stuff, later stuff does not. Again, I think a lot of it is happy accidents, right? Like he even like laughs about in interviews and stuff how like a reviewer said that, the black and white tone was meant to give it like the look of like a security camera, which it was not like intended at all, but he like just kind of rolled with it and stuff. The soundtrack, right, that Miramax slapped on it certainly helps, right? All the like, kind of like contemporary stuff, again, helps that time capsule aspect of it. So, I mean, there's a lot, that doesn't quite, still land the same way, but there's a lot that, I still love about, the film.
What did you find funny? What were some of the funny things from the movie that you liked?
Oh man, don't just put me on the spot like that.
I have to ask because I found none of it funny, and so
Okay.
I'm deadly curious what you found funny.
Sure. Just off the top of my head, bits that I enjoyed. All the stuff with the Chuli's gum representative in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars stuff. That idea of that. A lot of the customer stuff. I mean, my day job, I work in a movie theater, so like the stupid questions and the stuff that we get,
Very
still
relatable.
rings true. Like, yeah, I mean, there are things in there that like I'm able to like kind of pick up. I mean, those are just off the top of my head, but like things like that, I found like really funny and enjoyable, and I still do to this day. They still still kind of popped a bit for some of the the customer queries and stuff, but yeah, plenty in there that I enjoyed.
Nice.
And I enjoy the on some level, like I enjoy the characterizations and stuff because of that. Like, I mean, I grew up in New Jersey. I knew people like that, and again, another example of like he opened my eyes that somebody from New Jersey was able to, you didn't have to be somebody that knew somebody or had a connection to Hollywood and stuff. You can just kind of, shoot your shot, put it out there. And if you do well, and if you execute at a high level, somebody will find the value in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, it's sort of a very early for front runner for how a lot of the not indie, but also the social media things have taken off in similar ways, where it's here's real life, but sort of a curated version.
Yeah.
And as a result, but doing it so early.
Yeah, and on such a different degree, right? Because like nowadays you can do you can probably shoot Clerks for like a quarter, like less than a quarter of the budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
On an iPhone and everything else, and probably make a better looking movie and with trick shots and all kinds of stuff. But for him to just kind of like take such a risk and put like again that element of like putting yourself on a plate.
Oh yeah, no, the taking of the risk was tremendous and clearly paid off.
And he said that like half of the actors had never done a role before, had never had a part before.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Mewes was just some guy that he'd met from a friend of a friend, and
It was in construction.
yeah, something like that. And he just was like known for he was well known in the community for his antics. And Kevin Smith was like, I gotta meet this guy. And I thought that he did his acting job in this movie. Like, you can see some of them just aren't that experienced. Some of Randall and Dante's dialogue tends to be a little stilted or rushed or what have you. Like, there's 1,000 hallmarks of a new actor, but overall it is very good. They did a good job acting off of each other for having very little experience and like again, some of them not having ever acted a part before. They did a good job.
I think the unevenness of the writing probably contributed as well. It seemed like it went from, very stylized, some dialogue that you would have naturally overheard potentially in a store like that versus some very stylized conversation or trying to make a point, the philosophical pieces like that. And so they were trying to go at different levels at different times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, like again, those things for me this time around definitely read way more telegraphed and way more like artificial, right? Like and yeah, I mean it's uneven, but again, this is somebody's like
it was
attempt.
A bunch of people who'd never done this before. And and a 24-year-old guy wrote the script that he never really planned on it being what it was, right? He never expected this to happen. It kind of almost is like a student film. And I don't know if that's what he actually did there. But somebody just tried to, somebody was like one person who wasn't a part of his family or friend group that watched the one screening, and they were the ones that convinced him to submit it to Sundance, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the other thing is, if you pay attention, any of you guys watch Comic Book Men?
I have.
The AMC show. Walt, who runs the store, he has like I think 7 or 8 different roles in Clerks, every one in like a different wig, because people kept like saying that they would show up and they would cancel last minute. So whenever they needed somebody, they would just put a different wig on Walt and have him play a different character.
Nice.
Yeah. Which versatility.
Yeah.
You're done.
Versatility and somebody who's reliable is a tremendous thing when it comes to doing these sorts of things. 100%.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Nope. You have to get down. We have to do a quiz. Yeah. It's especially when you're at that point where nobody knows who you are. They're not terribly committed to showing up for you, so that makes sense. So, I'm gonna pull up the quiz here. If you guys have any like ending thoughts on Clerks, we can talk about that in this while you're waiting for me.
Yeah, as the fan of Clerks, yeah, I would say it's for sure worth a watch. I mean, I definitely think there's humor in there and value, but it is very much like we said, like a snapshot in time and kind of an example of what pop culture was like to a degree in '94. But if nothing else, I would say from Clerks, right? Like if you're like an artist out there, or you're somebody that's like thinking about writing or thinking, about putting yourself out there, like shoot your shot, because like, you never know like what can happen. Like Kevin Smith had that, response from his mother, and then he winds up winning. He winds up going to Sundance. Quentin Tarantino, his friends were having the conversation about like which one was gonna be the one to tell him that the movie thing was not going to work out, and then he went to Cannes and he won the Palme d'Or. So like these things happen. So if nothing else, tell your story and go for it.
Yeah, and that's a great point, especially for people who want to create and make. It's important to realize that what you're making isn't going to be for everyone, and that's okay. And so if some of the people in your life are like, maybe not, if it's something that you're passionate about, keep going. You should absolutely take on board critique and criticism and editing for sure, as we all should. But yeah, don't let people being like, oh, it's not my cup of tea, stop you. Go forth.
Yeah. And especially if you're into filmmaking or storytelling in general, be it by the film medium or a novel writer or a comic book maker, I almost think that that Clerks is it's not required viewing, but it's strongly recommended viewing, because just the slice of life storytelling there's not enough of that, I think.
Yeah, there's not enough.
Maybe it's out there and I just suck at finding it. What was that, Amanda?
Oh, there's so many slice of life New York movies.
I don't watch them, I guess. I'm terrible.
Yeah, no, I avoid them, but
Yeah.
they are there. I keep finding them accidentally.
It's hard to tell that in an exciting way, but it doesn't mean that it's without value.
Oh, well, yeah, no. For the
but
people who
yeah,
love
like Clerks.
it's
Clerks
amazing.
is just some of the choices that were made in Clerks make it sort of unique. But like my takeaway from it was that it wasn't as good as I remembered when I watched it last night, which was disappointing for me, because we did watch a Dogma, I think, recently, and I was like, yeah, you know what, this one doesn't hold up as well as it used to either, but I very much enjoyed it. So it's, Clerks maybe isn't Kevin Smith's best work, but again, we wouldn't have anything else if it weren't for this one. And yeah, no, I think that if you want to tell stories, that you should watch it just to get a different perspective, and maybe even as a cautionary tale, this is what not to do, like don't be quite so sexist in your book / movie / whatever. I don't know. Anyway, anybody who wants to play the quiz, you can win stickers, and Fred has a giveaway. pack some digital stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to put out, whoever wins today is going to get a digital copy of Fisticuffs Book 1 and 2. I do always like to warn people that it is mature 18 plus content and potentially triggery, so make sure that you're okay with that. And we're also going to include, I did a little behind the scenes reward from my last Kickstarter campaign, so that's going to go to the winner as well.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so anybody who's watching right now, you can scan that QR code there, or you can go to play.blooket.com on your laptop or phone or whatever internet connected device you have, and then when it asks you for the code, that's that number at the top, so what you type in. And stickers. Today's stickers, I actually have 2 because I did this one and I posted it, and then I got a comment from Dash, and it just, I don't know, I just had a moment, and I did like 15 or 20 minutes, and I did this one too. Mm-hmm. And it was... That was the wrong button! That sticker was just, I guess if there was a theme to that movie, it's that I'm not even supposed to be here today.
We've all had that feeling.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
So, Fred, you're eligible to play this too, but obviously you're only going to win stickers, so...
Yeah, how do I do this?
Yeah, if you go to play.blooket.com, and then you can type in that code at the top there. It's
go to join game and put in the code.
Gotcha.
And then anybody else who's in the chat, if you want to win the stickers and the Fisticuffs book 1 and 2, then you gotta enter, because you gotta win the quiz to get the stuff.
Okay, give me 1 second. 129.
Oops. Why do I have so many tabs open? I never use this computer. I mean, obviously I use this computer, but like, why do I have so many tabs open? It's not my preferred device. And if you don't listen to us talking, I'm not going to read the questions as per usual because we have a delay here, a time delay, and I am going to mess you up. So focus on your computer, on what your game screen says, and not what we're saying to play the game.
So I should be waiting in lobby?
Waiting for host.
Cool.
Yeah. Waiting for host, and then when I hit start, then it should change for you. The screen will change. And I don't think we're going to get anybody else playing here, but I'll give you guys like a couple more seconds. If you want to join the game, it's play.blooket.com and enter the code. Follow the instructions on the screen, enter that code, and you'll get into the game. Excuse me. I keep hearing weird noises. Right as we started the show, I heard weird noises that it sounded like screaming, and it was just a TV. And now I keep hearing weird noises. I'm like, okay, the TV's not running.
That's too early for October and for things to be haunted, so...
I'm getting a weird clicking on my side, so... Maybe this show is haunted. I don't know. Can y'all hear the clicking when I unmute?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, this is an old building, so it could be haunted, like, all the time. I don't know. I bet this used to be a factory, so I bet at least a few people died in this building.
It was pointed out that if hauntings were real, we would see them way more often because of how often people have died.
Yeah. And I mean, in like almost every building that exists, there are more buildings that have had people die in them than there are that haven't. It's just the way the world is. There are more.
One
dead
apartment
people.
I lived in was it used to be a hospital. So.
Oh yeah, super haunted.
Places for people to die.
Boy, this was a dark discussion. Let's play
but
the quiz.
But it could have been darker. We did good.
Yeah. We did steer away when you were in the graveyard.
It was. Well, I know that I had a point, and I just lost my way. and I had to abandon it when you pointed it out to me, because I was like, shit, I don't remember what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But you redirected me. It was fine. Everything's okay. All right, let's start this quiz. Okay, focus on your screens. This one should be pretty easy.
Oh, look, it booted me out. Dang it.
I don't know why Book It hates you.
It really does.
It's like specifically you. Why?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I just don't understand.
I can
think
count
it
on
knows I
one
work in
time, on
technology.
one hand, how many times it's kicked me out, and
Yeah.
Man's been kicked out more in one quiz.
Like
than
it was,
that.
yeah.
I think
Like every single week.
was 16 my top one time that it booted me.
That sounds
Sounds
yeah,
right.
like it was with big quizzes because we had more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you had more opportunity to get booted. Yeah, it's gonna do the thing where it's still counting you as a person in the game.
Mm-hmm. Look how many people play the game.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
It is kind of fun watching the seeing the, because these quizzes all end up public, and so after we play it, other people can find them in a search, and it's interesting to see how many times it gets played. Every week there's somebody else has taken the top spot or something. That cat's actual name is Lenin's Tomb. Did you see it in the credits?
Yes.
What? That's an amazing name. And the dog was just like Leah or something. It was like, okay.
Step it up, dog.
The dog was only there for a couple seconds, really, though.
Sarah, can you click next once 3 people have answered?
Oh, yeah. I'm scared to do that and have it mess up.
Sarah, that was not based on a true story.
It's not based on it.
It's not based on a true story.
It was based on him working at Quick Stop. He actually worked at that Quick Stop, and he based it on his experiences there. He said that in an interview. Not all of the events were based on that. No, but
none of the events were based on that.
like it's based on his experiences.
Thank God that that's not a true story.
Okay, that was a poorly
Right?
worded question. Well, yeah, but like that was a
I
poorly
figured
worded question.
at
But I'll
least
have to.
some of it had to have been based on true. So
I will.
The milkmaids. The milkmaids were totally true.
That makes
Hell
sense.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, he said he based that on his experiences working there. So like that to me said true story-ish. But I should reword that question, so I will do that before the mega quiz.
Maybe inspired or something, but yeah.
Inspired is better, yeah. It was a poorly worded
Elements
question.
were based in truth.
It was a poorly worded question.
I mean, Star Wars is a true story then, I guess, because I mean, George Lucas's dog looked like Chewie.
Why does it do that? Like it says 3, it knows there's only 3 people.
Wish it was Airbud.
I
Okay,
don't think we've covered this in the show.
it's still 3, right? It's just still 3 people actually playing.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't know if
Do we have
it's
a
like,
late
what if
joiner?
somebody jumped in late? Yeah. Oh, why is it gotta be like that? And then it jumped to 5 again. That's so weird. So incredibly loud. Oh, Amanda and Amanda 3 got no points. Why does that happen? That's so weird. Yeah. I think to the surprise of no one, Fred just won his own digital content.
Congratulations.
I mean, if
Sticker.
anybody wants one, I'll be happy to send a batch out to someone there. I just really, I mean, I'll be honest, those stickers are badass.
Oh,
Nice.
thank you.
Yeah, I just
Agreed.
Okay, so I wanted to take a minute before we go to look at some of this fisticuffs art because we didn't really touch on it, and we should have because it's amazing.
thank you.
All right, I gotta skip over because I mean Staniak is an amazing artist, so
He's the best. I tell people all the time the best decision I ever made was, asking him to be my artist. He just gets the sense of humor. He gets the tone. Like his style suits the grungy kind of like aesthetic so well. Like, he's the best. He's my
Absolutely.
favorite artist in the world. Period.
yeah, absolutely. He's great to work with.
Yeah.
So so if you go to the website, I put it in the it's schwartzart-llc.com, and it's in the comments. It's scrolling down below there, and right there you can read. It's the first issue's free, right?
Yeah,
On Global Comics.
Absolutely. Book one's free for everyone to read. It's been doing really well for the first couple weeks. Please, if you're out there, continue to spread the word and let the story be known. It's again, it's about a functional drunk whose comfortable life derails when a one-night stand has deadly consequences. It's for fans of people that enjoy The Boys and Preacher and that type of story, but with a bit more of a dramatic and serious tone to it. Hopefully a bit of message as well. And I just hope everybody enjoys it. And please, just give it a chance. And I feel like if you do, it's I love to try to sell this with the drug dealer business model of just have a taste and hopefully you'll be sticking around.
Yeah. I mean, and look at that. You don't even have to go to Global Comics to read a sample of it. So its first 5 pages are right here on your website, which is awesome. And it gives us an easy opportunity to look at some of this art here on Stream Quick. And last time I talked to Stan, I think we were doing his art book, and he talked about how much he did not like doing colors.
Yeah.
And I know this is not his coloring, correct?
No, this is Robert Nugent,
Right.
who's amazing. Robert's doing amazing too right now. He's on Giger. He's been doing Spawn. He's just
Awesome.
totally deserved too. He's
it works so well with Stan's lines. Like Stan, if you know his art, you see he has a grittier style. He does not have that clean Marvel style line.
But he has
that-
the clean forms and stuff, which I like. I like to
Yes.
describe him as a naughty Jim Lee.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
But yeah, Stan can get really gritty with his art too, depending on what you need. So if you're a comic book creator and you got the budget for Stan, then and you need that grittiness, he can get grittier. This is perfect. The colors and the lines work so well together.
Yeah, he's worth every dollar. I can't recommend him enough. He's fun, amazing to work with, and just great insights too. I tend to write very specific scripts and stuff, but he draws like a cinematographer, right? Everything is just at a really neat, like interesting
Mm-hmm.
angle, and like his. I mean, I love it too, and Robert as well. Like as you get into the book too, like Robert's developed such like a rich, cool, color scheme to it. Almost reminds me, like a Dario Argento movie, like really rich and lush, and kind of gorgeous. And then Dave brings it home, man. Like his letters are just amazing. I mean, in a few of the action scenes in particular, like it's just it's eye popping and just great. Like so lucky, and it's been a blast and a dream project so far.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with it. So everybody go to schwartzart-llc.com. There's the link is in the comments, or you can see it right here on the screen. You can go read the first issue on Global Comics for free, and that'll get you hooked, and then you'll want to buy all of them.
Yeah, and our link tree's there too. So follow us on social media, because very soon we're going to be putting up the pre-launch page for book 3. Well, actually, the newsletter too, and link tree's right there as well. So please stick with us, because follow with us, because very soon we're going to be announcing the book 3 campaign, and the official date should be late September, early October, more likely.
Awesome.
And, we just look forward to seeing you all there.
Yeah, you know what? We got Power Broker coming up in October, so we'll have to maybe talk about doing some cross-campaign stuff, because that'll be...
For sure.
Well, I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're close enough.
They're close enough. More than close enough. For sure.
So, all right. With that, next week, we are talking about Dan to Dan. And I will not be taking any requests for the sticker, because I already know what I want to draw for the sticker.
Is it a granny?
No, it can't be the granny. We're too uncomfortable with the whole sexy grandma thing.
Who's that?
You don't want to be drawing
It's
gills?
uncomfortable.
No, I just had tried to do sexy grandma a couple of times, and her fucking hair, man. I don't know how to draw that shit. I just don't know how to draw it. So no, we're not gonna do that, because
Look at a yarn skein. Draw the yarn skein. Add to a person.
It's like it's got this, like, there's a comb, but then there's like a yarn, like, and then like the spiky shit at the top. Or am I thinking of somebody else? I don't know. The point is that the hair never looked right, and I got sick of trying, because I tried to draw her like 10 times before I even came up with the let's draw a sticker thing. That was the whole let's draw a sticker, or I'll draw a sticker for every show is a relatively new thing here. And before we came up with that, I had already tried to draw her, and it's her hair, man. It's her hair. And then if you do, I could maybe do Gigi's new look he's got going on. I haven't tried Gigi yet, but then but Okaroon is weird, and Ira's weird. Like they're way too complicated for me, for my skill level. So I'm working on it. Maybe I'll be there next year. But Momo and Turbo Granny. That's what we're looking at here. And I'm not sure about Momo either, because her hair is deceptively weird too. It's just how it is. So we might be looking at Turbo Granny as a cat, because that's what I can do.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's what everybody likes a lucky cat, right? If you don't like Turbo Granny as a character, it's just a lucky cat. Have you seen that show yet, Fred?
No, as I was saying, I work in a movie theater part-time, and we had a Dan to Dan thing coming in, and man, were people excited, and man, did I feel like a grandpa. I was like, I had no idea of what they were all excited about. There's a lot of movies that make me feel that way. Like, all these kids were like so excited a few months ago about a chicken jockey, and I still don't get or know what that is. But
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I wonder if like people thought I sounded so stupid when I was all amped up about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but who fucking knows?
I don't know. If they thought that was weird, they're just wrong, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is awesome.
They're amazing. They're like,
but yeah, like definitely recommend, if you got some time, you should watch Dan to Dan, because it's so fucking weird, but in a good way.
Okay.
That's all I can say about it. Like, there's not really a great way to describe it. It's a supernatural thing, and ghosts and aliens and stuff, and it's just super weird. And the first episode is, it's not the weirdest one, but it's the most questionable, I think. I don't know. We'll talk about that next week.
That sounds interesting.
But yeah, like if you got some time, I recommend. It's so weird. It's so weird. What did I say last week? I said it's not weird like Fooly Cooly where you don't fucking know what's going on the whole time. Like Fooly Cooly makes me angry because I don't understand what's going on in like all of it.
Oh yeah.
And I shouldn't have to read a dissertation about Fooly Cooly to understand Fooly Cooly. I shouldn't. But Dan is under, like, you can follow the story without getting lost and then going, what the hell is going on? So it's just weird.
I feel like such a grandpa again. Fooly and Dan. What the fuck, you know?
Fooly
Cooley,
Cooly's
that's like 90s.
What is that?
like 20 years old now. Yeah.
It's an anime.
It's an
An
anime.
anime? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, if you're not into
With that.
anime, then you're gonna feel like a grandpa no matter what we say about anime. So
Animes are daunting to get into. There's like so much. Like every show is like 700 episodes, and
so true. That's why you got to get in on
it's
Dan
just
to
one-
Dan early
just One
because
Piece and Naruto.
there's only like there's 2 seasons so far, and the second season's not even fully released yet. So like if you want to pick one to jump in on, Dan to Dan's a good one because
Okay.
it's weird and good, and there's 12 episodes in the first season, and I think 8 so far have been released in the second
Okay.
season. So yeah, like it's not overwhelming.
right, it's manageable.
Yeah, and it's only like a half hour an episode too ish.
It's self-contained. You don't
25
have
minutes.
to know anything
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get into it.
No like lore. Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can just jump on
They
in. So.
establish it all on their
All
own.
right. And we are going to talk about as many episodes as have been released. So if there's, I don't know if they're releasing it. I think they're releasing another one today, actually. I think there's another one dropping today, so there might be 9 now. Anyway, we're going to talk about as many as have been released up until Sunday, because we can't do Monday because that's not fair.
That'd be a little tricky.
Yeah. So
Is there a
otherwise,
guest that week?
what's that? Oh
Is
yeah,
there a guest
Marika. Marika Davis is coming to talk to us. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Marika's just coming to chat because she loves Dan to Dan. She doesn't have anything to promote
Right
this
on.
time. So yeah, she's just
Good
coming to
reasons
talk.
then.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, go follow the pre-launch for Noctiluca. It's luca.deviant definitearticlecreative.com. Go follow that. I need more pre-launch backers or pre-launch followers. Yeah, and that's launching September 9th. So, and yeah, go read Fisticuffs. So, all right, is that it? I think we're done. All right, bye.
Bye.